So please, you need to focus on it. Now let's get into dissecting journal articles. Reason for dissecting journal articles. Focused research on the topic. Okay, focused research on the topic. You need to find out as much of information on the background of your topic. Also, the periphery, which would be things that influence the topic. Okay, then you've got the last step, which is what other authors are saying. How are they doing supporting evidence? So let me give you an idea what supporting evidence is. If I walk into a room and there is a beautiful vase of flowers on there, and it's near Valentine's Day, and I say, wow, those are beautiful. I wonder where they got them, and I walk away. But they pique my interest, but it doesn't do anything. Well, the next person comes in, and they look at those flowers, and they go, hey, those are gorgeous flowers. Now I look back. Well, I got a little bit of supporting evidence going on. Next person comes in, man, that vase is awesome, and I would really like to get that for my wife or my girlfriend. Wow, what happens now? What's the next step? Now there's another one. Now I've looked back a third time. And it can happen again and again and again. And pretty soon I'm really, really liking these flowers, and I want to find out where to buy them. Well, that's supporting evidence. What it is that I write an article, and I turn around and I find 5 other people that have said the same exact thing or in contrast. Either way is okay. But what I'm doing is I'm building a case for what I'm talking about. If it's contrasting, I'm going to then conclude why it's contrasting. Or if it's an agreement, I'm going to show why it's an agreement. But either way, I'm supporting what I am doing. And that's what you're looking for. You're supporting the topic you have by the previous research. Then when you do your research, you will then match it up between the two. So those, what I would call, and I probably need to put this in there, is called a nugget. You're finding another author who is supporting the evidence, who gave a great quote. You add that in there, you add the reference in there, but you have to go out and find that journal article. That's what makes it a primary. You go out there and find that journal article if you can. If you cannot, then guess what? Then there are other ways of citing it, and that's another segment. Allows the inexperienced researcher the opportunity to learn about the research writing process. Good journal articles are easy to read, they flow well, they give you all the information you'll need, but you will begin to understand the process of how you're going to write a research paper in this way, or you're going to write a study or an article yourself someday. You never know where you're going to be. The researcher then has the opportunity to gain as much information on the subject before moving on to the results or the discussion. And I'm going to get into that a little more in a minute. What I have found in the past 8 years, this process works. It's easier than anything I've ever found. Rather than going out and just diving into information and going back and forth, focus your information toward what you need to do and master the magic number a professor gives you. Magic number. I've never had a problem with a number of citations, because the nuggets can give me citations, which would be a number. The actual articles, if it's 15, I always have 15 articles, but I may have 24 or 25 citations because there'll be a few nuggets along the way. Why? Because in this way, you're learning it linearly. In this class, it's a research methods class. You have to understand, or any other class, you have to understand that the information is key. So you want to touch as many articles as you can in any part of your subject. Therefore, in the end, you'll have a great knowledge, so it makes it so much easier when it comes time to draw conclusions and put your paper together, rather than just finding a couple little things and then just closing the book and saying, okay, I'm done. You now have to touch 40 or 50 articles that may give you something. Plus, it will help you in your other classes, because as you make mistakes and not pulling the right articles, you may come up with a topic in another class where you have to do an article critique, and you've already got the article, you've already skimmed it, you've already read it. Okay? It has worked. I get emails from, I'm done with my classes now, but I get emails from my professors going, how did you write that lit review so well? And I send them all my information, and some of them are starting to use this in their classes to help them teach how to write lit reviews that are legible and understandable and not all over the place. Why do I think it works? It's easy, it's straightforward, and it's informational. You can put it together, you can find all the information and move on. We all live busy lives. You cannot spend 50 hours on one journal article or you will pull your hair out. You've got to hit it, go, and come back. There is something in this called the template. Okay, that is another video that was out there that talks about the Lit Review template itself. That's a very important portion of it. Then you're dissecting the journal article. How does this work? You're going to pull out the easy stuff first, and we're going to get into that in a second. So where do you start? The library. Find the articles in the database. Sport Discus is always a good one for PE stuff. Okay? Psych articles, another area, motivation and that. But you can just do a cursory search, and that's fine. Read the abstract if available immediately. Do nothing else. If you like it, save the PDF to your computer or to Dropbox. And this is another time I'm going to make a pitch for Dropbox or Inbox or whatever you use. I use Dropbox, is good. I had a student who was doing their capstone who had 10 qualitative, and you'll understand qualitative, interviews with Division I college coaches from across the country. Boyfriend locks her out of the house because she got a job in a different part of the state. She was going to have to move up there. She wasn't planning on breaking up with him. He took a magnet and erased all of her data on the computer. Yes, I know there can be legal ramifications for that. But in the same respect, it was gone 3 weeks before the end she was supposed to graduate. If she doesn't graduate, she doesn't get the job. So she had to go back and replicate it again. And if anybody's ever lost any paperwork in a computer, it just doesn't come out the same the second time. She still got an A and she still graduated, but the information she had was not as good as the first time that you do it. So Dropbox is a really good place. You can access it from anywhere you have an internet connection. You don't have to worry about having your computer. You can pull articles and drop them in there for a later date. You can do it on your iPhone, your iPad, your computer, Mac, Windows, whatever. Plus, you can share a file with me. And if you have a journal article that you pulled and not sure if it's scholarly, all you have to do for sharing it's just you and I sharing it, then I can go in and I can look at that article and say, yeah, it's pretty good. Use this, this, and this. I can help you along. Really, other than that, you've got to email it to me. I have to open on my computer and save it. This way we can just look at it, be done. If you have your master that you're working on in there and you get this and you need help, I can look at it that way. I can look at your writing. I can do all kinds of stuff. So I will be sending everybody a Dropbox invite. And if you have one, then just let me know. If you already have it, let me know. And we'll get hooked up. And we'll share a file. Save it to the citation manager or however else you're saving your citations. And make sure that you're saving your citations. It's really tough to be at 10 o'clock and you're going through and you find one citation that you do not have the full citation for in the back, and you got to take that whole section out because you don't have it, because you'll drop grades because you're not citing. Think of a citation manager as the whole the Major League Baseball. It's every player that ever played, and you're citing everybody that hit a home run. Everybody was on base. You got four authors. One was the number one, that's your batter who hit the home run, and you got three other people on base, and it's a grand slam. Of course, there's more and less, but you get the idea. If you hit the home run, you want to be recognized for it, just as being on the bases and how you got on the bases and everything else. So you need to make sure that everything gets cited. Okay. The next portion. It's quantity before quality when you're doing your research. You want to, it's rare to find an article on the very first time. I've only done it a couple times. You have to go through the articles to find it. This is how I do this. I have a library of over 4,000 articles in different subjects: social psychology, sports psychology, research methods, all these different kinds of things. You just got to separate them and keep a good filing system. Okay, but when I'm doing a new topic for a class, I will open up a file and give it a name. And every time I get in that library and I just look for every abstract that I like, it's just got to pique my interest. And my goal is 10 a day. So at night, I take 45 minutes and I probably can find 10 or more in 45 minutes. And I just go, 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 go. And then I go back and I skim them. I just go through each one that I just got and I put them by days. So let's say it's day one. I put every one of them in day one. And I go through and I skim, I pull the articles one by one on my computer after I've downloaded them, and I skim them, and I have them all in the citation manager. Okay, and then I skim them, and I pull the best two or more. Okay, and I'll get into that. I'm going to go a little farther. Okay, and then basically you move on from there. Okay. Also, some of them the ones I don't need, I don't throw away because there may be something else that comes up in another class or another place that you need an article, and you may already have that article in that subject. So if my instructor is asking for 15 references, then I'll search for 10 a day for 5 days until I reach the citation goal. Okay? So it may take me 7 days of research, but I may have pulled 70 articles to find the 10 or 15 that I need. Next, when I have the first 10, I take a deeper look at the articles, and my dream is to find 2 or more out of the 10. Okay? If I find the 2, I print them out and start working on them. I usually send out an email in class saying about the back pocket or the purse. Being a male, it's my back pocket. Okay? I'll put some in my back pocket. So if I'm at the restaurant and nothing's going on, I'll open up a journal article and I'll just start marking them up. Got to use the cracks of time. When I'm working in my regular job, I would have them with me, and if I got stuck someplace and it was just dead, I would immediately go to my back pocket and I'd start highlighting areas. That way, when I got home, if I really liked the article, I could just whip out the dissecting article sheet, fill it out, and move on. That's the shell. Fill out that sheet. Don't write the lit review. Fill out the sheet. Then come back and really delve into it. If you need 15 journal articles, okay, your goal is to fill 15 dissecting articles worksheet. If you do that and you do it in a week and a half, and you have an 8-week window or a 10-week window or a 15-week window to write this, and it took you 8 days of 8 days, Monday through Friday and Monday through Wednesday, to fill out the 15 dissecting articles worksheet, you have the rest of the semester to really build your lit review. Kind of makes sense? I either print them out. I have an iPad. I use my iPad. They're on my iPhone. They're everywhere. So anywhere I want. Now my pitch. There is a book company called Know, K-N-O. You can go on. If you have an iPad or whatever, you do not have to purchase any books on there, but you can download from Dropbox or wherever if you have Dropbox, it'll take it right from Dropbox. You can drop your lit reviews in there, and Know is a wonderful thing because you can highlight. When you highlight in Know, it will take it and put it in a journal, so you don't have to write the dissecting article sheet out. You just do that, and then you come home, fill out the article sheet, and put it away. Now, I forgot to take that off. So